How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and we're going to be talking about SNDL, Sundial Growers. I know it's been a while since I last spoke about it, but hey, there's been some updates. We have some things that we need to look out for, things that you need to be putting on your calendar and be prepared if you are currently invested. So like I normally do in my videos, we're going to be doing a technical analysis, and I'm also going to be giving you guys a news update from an article that I came across that I feel like you should be aware of. And one thing I love about it, it gives both a bullish stance and also a bearish stance. So again, it is not biased at all, and that's the type of information that we need to look out for. I won't waste any more time. Let's get into it. All right, so we're going to be doing the technical analysis on SNDL, Sundial Growers. So we already know the market pulled back big time last week. So we want to look at what strategy should we have going in if we're interested in actually investing in SNDL or looking for short-term swing trade opportunities. So what we're taking a look at, we're here on March the 2nd, seeing where it was. We already have a high here of $1.53. We already know the market pulled back big time. We've had a correction, and then we ended up seeing a dip here on the Friday that just passed, at 92 cents. We could take a look at the RSI and see that, you know what, this was a great opportunity to take advantage of, literally around 22. You guys remember, I did a video on SNDL, and I was saying if this stock breaks $1, because it did a great job for a very long time, not a very long time, but a good amount of time, staying above $1 range, considering how long it was trading below $1. So we're really looking forward to seeing SNDL literally stay above $1. The moment it went below $1 and got to 92 cents, if you had interest or you wanted to add to your position, bring your costs down, or just take advantage of this dip, this was the time. Especially when you guys heard me do a video and reiterate, hey, we love seeing Sundial above $1. It was holding down $1.20 area, the $1.30 areas very well. And it definitely has the potential in regards to what's going on in the current climate to get back above $1. So if you would have saw it break that $1 area, you should have never have hesitated at all, right? I was not seeing Sundial just break $1 like that, but it happened. So congratulate to those who ended up getting it at 93 cents. We'll just call it that. But ended up making a very, very strong move going into close. As you can see here, $1.16. So one of the areas that we need to take a look at for a good portion of the day, as we could see, that resistance area right at $1.14. Wow. Like literally, yeah, we got past it in the beginning of the day on Friday, but as we even go forward, like it went above a little bit, like, you know, for about 5 minutes, and then right back, just, you know, adhering to that resistance level. But then as we got near into the end of after hours on Friday, ended up, you know what, saying, you know what, I'm gonna hold this down this 116. So one of the things I'm noticing and what I like seeing on this chart is that, you know what, there's a bullish uptrend going with SNDL, and I definitely see it going back to reclaiming the $1.20 area, $1.25, and going up, as you can see over here, even passing back that $1.29. And the reason why I'm bullish about that, we have also earnings that are going to be coming out. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing a run up. Again, this is assuming depending on how the market conditions actually are. If we're continuing to have a correction or stocks pulling back, then there's of course going to be some resistance, and that's why I'm saying paying attention to this 160 area is key. If you end up seeing it pull back under $1, as you saw here, you already know that's a big time opportunity. If there ends up being dips and you don't end up seeing this, then that $1 area is where I'm going to be definitely keeping an eye on, and is somewhere where you need to consider. Because we could see, despite breaking it during these particular time frames, it looked like a solid area. So if you get a dip to $1, it may not be a bad idea to consider. Now, the next support we'll be taking a look at, and which we saw a little bit here in the after hours on Thursday and also in pre-market, is $1.11. So we know $1.11, and also keeping an eye on that $1 area, and then seeing this low that we saw here, which it recovered fairly quickly, 95. Let's look at 95. Let's not forget about 93 cents. We know that was the low of the day, but 95 is definitely an area where there's some support where it will have a bounce. But I definitely do believe in regards to earnings and so forth, there's a run up. But just keep in mind, this stock can pull back big time. And also it can be very volatile anytime when it comes to earnings. So if earnings end up being underwhelming, then this stock could pull back. And if it does pull back and you believe in it long term, you take advantage of that. Or it could happen and it goes to an upside and ends up having a run up. I'm also going to be going over the news right after this is over so you guys can have an idea of what to expect, or even, just to be aware of, so you can actually stomach the volatility if it's of any concern to you. All right, so we're going to go over this article for SNDL that was put up on March the 6th. So this was yesterday. Should you buy Sundial Growers stock in March? So SNDL has been on one of the hottest pot stocks of 2021 with a valuation of $2.03 billion. It is up 174% since the start of January. Whew, that's actually crazy. Sorry, I just had to pause for a moment. I'm like, yeah, that. But anyway, as of January, the Horizons Marijuana Life Sciences ETF is up 61% during that same time as of March 3rd. But the gains have been largely due to speculation as the company hasn't released any financial results or announced a significant transaction with another pot sector player. However, in March, the company is going to release its year-end results, which could be a catalyst for even more speculation and trading activity. Could now be a good time to buy the stock, or is it too risky given that a new earnings report is just weeks away? Why the earnings report will be crucial. SNDL announced Tuesday that it will release its fourth quarter results on March 17th, which is not too far from now, 10 days, after the market closed for the period ending of December 31st, 2020. Investors will want to circle that day, set alarms, and do whatever they need to do to make sure that they don't miss the release. For an ordinary company, investors would be looking to see how the business has been doing, whether its sales are growing, and how strong its financials as a whole are. But this isn't your typical company or stock. Of course, we've noticed that. A big part of the reason SNDL has been skyrocketing in recent months is because investors are expecting some sort of a deal. Whether the company is the buyer or a seller is irrelevant. A merger or acquisition situation can instantly send shares of a stock soaring if an acquirer plays a large premium for it or if the company itself lands a great business at a cheap price. If investors were concerned about sales or profits, they likely wouldn't have been investing in SNDL in the first place. The company hasn't reported earnings since November 11, 2020. When its third quarter numbers were released at the time, net revenue was 12.9 million Canadian dollars for the period ending September 30th, 2020, was down a whopping 54% from the prior year period. The company blamed the drop on its transition from wholesale to its focus on branded retail sales. Whether the move pays off is uncertain, but with operating losses of 110 million over the trailing 12 months, the company needs more than just a modest boost to its top line to get anywhere near profitability. While some investors may be anticipating or hoping for a turnaround, my guess is that they'll be looking for some sort of news in Q4 on the strategic alternatives review that SNDL management said it was working on in Q3. News of a deal in sight could ramp up speculation on the stock and send it into the stratosphere. But if there isn't any news on the front and Sundial delivers lackluster results, it could have had the opposite effect on pot stock shares. Whatever results or developments come out March 17, expect them to move because this is a very volatile stock in a big way, like we priorly discussed. So now, should you buy the stock before or after earnings? Sundial stock can be unpredictable. We know that, which makes it especially dangerous to buy right now and hold into earnings. Sure, you can make a fortune if things go well and it doubles in value on a great report or news that a transaction is in the works. But you could also run the risk that the share price crashes if management says there isn't a deal and its financials remain uninspiring. If we were to buy shares of SNDL, the time to do so would be after it reports earnings. Investors will then have a clearer picture of what the business might look like under its new retail-focused strategy. Here's this paragraph, what I really think that a lot of investors are looking at, and it's really important in regards to the growth and for SNDL moving forward. There are some great reasons to be bullish on the stock, including its new cash on hand and so forth. There are some great reasons to be bullish on the stock, including its new cash on hand in a cash-strapped industry. After its last two offerings, SNDL has more than 600 million Canadian in cash on hand. That's enough money to buy Auxili Cannabis Group, which has a valuation of just $264 million and claims to be in the top spot in the cannabis 2.0 market, edibles, vapes, etc. in Canada. I'm not saying that will happen, but it's an example of the kind of potential that Sundial has just by possessing that amount of money. But until there's some clarity surrounding this future, SNDL remains a stock I would keep on the watch list rather than buy. It isn't a stock that looks like a great investment right now, but after March 17th, that could change. You guys already know I love to see opinions on both sides, the bullish side and as well as the bearish side, and it's part of the reasons why I choose this particular article. It gives us a good picture of what we need to look for in regards to SNDL. And I do agree on the sense of, since they've raised a ton of cash, we noticed that, you know what, they have a stake in Indivia, which is in the edibles market. But what we want to see is what else is next. What else is coming forward? What are you doing to make sure you're maintaining that investor confidence? And this earnings report will give us a good idea, and also seeing what the strategic direction is will help in regards to whether you want to keep SNDL and continue to ride through it. There's a lot of potential and a lot more upside in the cannabis industry. So I think that's something we need to be aware of. Anyone who's looking at this long term, I really do think right now, currently where SNDL is at, you really can't go wrong. Just my personal opinion, of course. So for my final thoughts, I must say, SNDL is going to be coming with a lot of volatility. But hey, if you've been playing SNDL, you already know that. We've had a pullback recently in the market. It's been going on for quite some time. You may have been doubling down, right? You may have been actually profiting from the run-up as far as doing short-term trades. Whichever the case may be, I'm definitely looking forward to see what happens going forward. Just said that already. But at the same time, we already know, as far as the cannabis market overall in general, there's still some more room for growth. There's still some more upside, especially as when certain catalysts start coming, and that in regards to regulations, how widely it is available. Also taking a look at SNDL and seeing what they're doing with all that capital that they have on hand. We already know that, you know what, they've made some purchases, taken a stake in Indivia, an edibles, right, sector. So we want to see, hey, SNDL, what's left? What's more there to come? How are you doing on the financial front? Right? We've already seen you did the offerings, but what are you doing? What is the strategic direction? This is what we're looking for, especially if you're a long-term investor. And if you're swinging it and so forth, you need to be aware of these things and know what the dates are. And that's why I've covered it in the video. But in regards to SNDL, I'm really looking forward to see what happens. I'm still bullish on it. And hey, that's my last stance, but it also comes with this. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. So when you do invest, just know that you're doing it at your own risk. We'll talk soon.